Family Recipe, this is Anne.
Hi, and welcome to Anne's Family Recipe. Today I'm starting a new series on my channel filled with recipes inspired by one of my all-time favorite television shows, The Office. Now, The Office is having this resurgence lately because it's streaming on Netflix. There is a brand new generation of people watching and loving this show, myself included. I am rewatching it. Plus, I've been listening to the podcast with Jenna Fisher and Angela Kinsey. They take it one episode at a time, giving you a synopsis and then all kinds of fast facts and tidbits of behind-the-scenes information. It is so fun to listen to. My first recipe today is inspired by the character Dwight Schrute, who, outside of being assistant to the regional manager, owns a beet farm. So I thought, what better food to start with than beets? So today we're making an arugula salad topped with sautéed beets and goat cheese and a nice balsamic vinaigrette. And I wanted to call this episode Cheese, Beets, and Lightly Dressed Arugula because it had the same ring as Bears, Beets, Battlestar Galactica, which is one of my favorite opening scenes. It's from season 3 where Jim comes into the office dressed up as Dwight because he's always pranking Dwight, and that was one of my favorite things that he ever did to him. So let's get started on our salad. The first component of my salad is the balsamic vinaigrette. I'm starting with a half a cup of olive oil. And typically with a vinaigrette, it's like a 2-to-1 ratio of olive oil to vinegar. So next I'm adding in a 1/4 cup of balsamic vinegar. And this is super tangy, but also a little bit sweet. It's really good. Here, I gotta bend down here to see this. Okay. Now to help emulsify this or kind of hold it all together, because oil and vinegar don't really combine easily together on their own, I'm adding 2 teaspoons of Dijon mustard, plus it adds great flavor too. So we'll squeeze that in. Oh, that was messy, that's okay. All right, I will clean that up later. And then I'm also gonna add some honey, which again will help sort of bind the dressing together and add a little bit of sweetness. So for this, I'm also doing 2 teaspoons. Clearly I am eyeballing it. It should be good. Okay, and then we just wanna season it up a little bit with some salt and pepper. That can kind of be to taste. I'm gonna start with about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and an 1/8 teaspoon of ground black pepper, but you can adjust it as needed. And then also I'm going to press 1 clove of garlic. Next up, I'm working on my beets. Now, Dwight Schrute always said that the first rule of roadside beet sales is to put the most attractive beets on top. Those are the money beets. And to me, at the grocery store, these were the money beets. You know why? Because they were already pre-chopped for me. I honestly have never worked with beets in their like whole raw form before, just because it's kind of a long process of roasting in the oven and then peeling the skin off. You have to wear gloves so that you don't stain everything red. So these, I'm just gonna saute in a skillet for about 3 to 4 minutes in a tablespoon of olive oil, season them with some salt and pepper, and they'll be good to go. Next, I'm gonna dress my greens. So I found a mix of baby spinach and baby arugula at my grocery store, so I have that here in my bowl, and I'm gonna pour over just a little bit of the dressing and then toss it around to coat. Clearly I made way too much dressing, but it's so good, you might as well make a big batch now, and then you can save it in like a Tupperware container or in a mason jar in your fridge, and it's good for a week or two, and you can use it throughout the week on salads. So I'm just gonna give it another quick stir just to make sure it's all incorporated. I did sneak a taste earlier. It is awesome, super flavorful. So I'm gonna drizzle this over top. You can always add more, but it's just nice to coat the greens in this dressing. And my beets are done cooking, so now we just have to plate it up. First, I'm laying down a bed of my dressed greens. And I have this nice little serving platter here too, which I think will look extra fancy, even though it's just a weeknight dinner here at my house. Next up are my sautéed beets. And they have a really nice texture. They're kind of tender crisp, course they add a really beautiful color too. And for a little crunch, I have some chopped up pecans, but I do have an amazing recipe for candied pecans that I'm gonna link for you in the description box below, because those would be perfect for this salad. The only problem is I made a giant batch at Christmas and then froze the extras, and we just finished up the last few remaining nuts. So we're just gonna go with plain pecans today. But either way, they're gonna add an awesome crunch, which is a nice little textural contrast here in our salad. And then lastly, for a nice creamy texture, I have some goat cheese. And you can use plain goat cheese. At my grocery store, they also have garlic and herb, which is my favorite and what I'm using here today. They also have honey flavored goat cheese, which would be nice with this salad too. So I'm just using my fingers, or you could use a fork, clean fingers of course, and crumbling it all over the top. Before I try out my incredible looking beet salad, I'm going to drizzle over a little bit of extra balsamic vinaigrette. And finally, I get to give my beet salad a taste. I love beet salad. This is so yummy. So many flavors going on. I love that kind of tender, crisp beet texture. That's really nice to saute them on the stove. You can also roast them, of course, and they'll get a little bit softer, but that's really nice. It adds a little bit of a crunch along with those pecans. The goat cheese is phenomenal, super creamy, nice and savory with that garlic herb flavor. The greens are very fresh, the dressing is delicious. I think Dwight Schrute would approve. Make sure you subscribe to my channel because next Thursday, it's pretzel day. Follow me on Instagram at Anne's Family Recipe and give this video a thumbs up if you like what I made here today. Thank you so much for joining me here in my kitchen, and I'll see you again soon with another family recipe.